Larry, put in the Mario 64 slide music. Here we go.
This will be pure gameplay.
Let's hope I can get it.
Oh. Oh, let's go. To the left. To the right now. I have a delay, so I can't really help you out here. But, watch my kids 3, fellas. Amazing game.
Game.
Shut up! Why are there 5 George Foremans? 5 sons named George Foreman.
Alright, I'm good. Come on.
I believe in you.
Good, because I don't believe in me.
Oh. Alright. What would you say is the best fandom you've been a part
This
of?
is pure gameplay here.
Okay, my fault.
Okay, no. Let's go! Alright. We did it, fellas.
Hey. Yo. Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Yo. Hey.
Hey, Harry, did you hear about this mini-boss fight? Because I sure did, and I fucking hated it.
I didn't hear about none.
Time for a mini-boss
Why
fight.
no one told me?
They didn't tell me shit, bro. They ain't never tell me shit.
Man.
Okay. Best fandom? There are actually a lot of good. There are actually a lot of good fandoms. Speaking of fandom, though, one of my favorite things is that with Love is War, everybody thinks Yu Ishigami is the best girl. I love these people.
Everyone's best girl.
All right, so remember this guy that we fought earlier?
Yeah.
He's back.
And better than ever. He's been rebuilt from the... He's been rebuilt. He's more agile.
He's more
smarter.
He's more machine than man now.
I am... My topics list has shrunk immensely.
Oh, don't worry, because I know. I have something I've been wanting to bring up for a while.
Oh no, please.
Do you know how...
Don't talk about my racism.
Do you know how fucking stupid the Zelda timeline is? This might actually be like the dumbest thing ever.
They gotta... I mean...
Okay, so here's the thing. You know how... You know what the Zelda timeline looks like, or what it was like for a while, right?
Wasn't it just a straight line, but then Ocarina of Time is a different timeline?
Okay.
The 3D games are a different timeline from the 2D games?
No, sort of. Basically, what they had... Fuck off, stupid thing.
I don't get it. Why isn't the timeline just Zelda 1, I mean Zelda 2, and then Link to the Past is its own thing, and then...
Are you kidding me?
And then the 3D games are their own thing. And then Twilight Princess is its own timeline, and Skyward Sword is its own timeline.
We have to make sense of all the things. Okay, so...
But that does make sense.
Hold on, look up the Zelda timeline real quick so you can have an idea of what I'm talking about.
I feel like I'm gonna get 7 different timelines.
Hyrule Historia timeline. Nintendo came up with the official timeline. The thing is, though, they changed it again.
Alright. Here's what I got. At the start...
Hold on.
Is Skyward Sword.
Hold on. So, you know how we came here to look for something?
Yep.
The thing we were looking for is not even here. That's the entire point of this, and yes, you have to complete it.
Okay. The fire somewhere else.
We're looking for the thing for his ship.
Oh, not the fire.
The fire's in the dungeon.
All right. So we got at the beginning of time, Skyward Sword.
Yep.
Then Diminished Cap.
Yep.
Then Four Swords.
Mm-hmm.
Then Ocarina of Time. Wait, how did they explain Four Swords with the 4 different links? And then Ocarina of Time.
Have you played those games?
But how did...
No, have you played Four Swords? I'm asking.
No.
It's one link split into 4. It's not 4 different people.
Okay, but... Why does Ocarina of Time Link... Why does he start off the way he does?
What do you mean?
Like, he just wakes up, with he's known as the boy with no fairy. And then he kind of starts his adventure. He has that dream with Ganon.
Where in Zelda fandom did you expect these games to all take place near each other?
They shouldn't be.
No, like some Zelda games do explicitly have the same link. As far as I'm aware, Minish Camp and Four Swords, I don't know if they're the same link. I think they are, but it's a different link in Four Swords than it is than in Ocarina of Time.
All right. Let me find the one with Breath of the Wild.
Oh no, that's the thing. So this is the thing that changes. Just keep on reading that timeline, and then I'll tell you the things that they changed that make it fucking stupid.
All right. So, Ocarina of Time, when the hero is defeated, it goes into the Hyrule's Decline and the Last Hero timeline, which is A Link to the Past. Doesn't Link wake up and his uncle die? Is that not the same Link?
No. All of these... Okay. Skyward Sword Link is a different... Okay, these are all the links. Skyward Sword Link, Minish Cap / Four Swords Link. The Link from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are the same person. A Link to the Past, or the Oracle games, and Link's Awakening Link are all the same person. A Link Between Worlds and Triforce Heroes Link are the same person. Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 Link are the same person.
But they're all different links.
Yes.
Okay.
No. Those links of the games I just listed, they're the same person. And each of the different links is a different link.
Okay.
The way it works, is stupid. Basically, the only thing you need to know is that there's always going to be a Zelda. So there has always been a Princess Zelda, and Link only shows up basically when bad shit is gonna happen.
All right. So we got A Link to the Past, Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, Link's Awakening, and then Legend of Zelda, and then Adventure of Link underneath that.
A Link Between Worlds takes place before that, and Triforce Heroes take place before that. Those two, A Link Between Worlds and Triforce Heroes, are the same Link. They have a very different art style, but same person.
All right, and then Ocarina of Time, if the hero is successful, there is the Child Era, where the Sacred Realm is protected, where it's Majora's Mask, and then Twilight Princess, and then Four Swords plus Hyrule Adventure.
So that's my biggest gripe about the timeline. I have no idea why they couldn't just put Four Swords and Four Swords Adventures right next to each other. It would make so much more sense.
That's the biggest gripe?
Oh no, I'm going to get into the biggest gripe that they have later.
All right. And then when Ganondorf is sealed, we have the Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass.
This is the adult timeline.
And then Spirit Tracks.
Yeah. So they changed it so Link's Awakening now takes place after A Link to the Past. But that doesn't make sense because the ending of Oracle of Ages is Link going on a boat. And what happens at the start of Link's Awakening? Link is on a fucking boat.
I mean, Link can get on a boat whenever he wants. So what is your biggest gripe with this? And also, where does Breath of the Wild fall?
Breath of the Wild takes place at the very end. Regardless of whatever game will come, Breath of the Wild will always be the final game.
and then until Breath of the Wild 2 comes out.
Yes, but Breath of the Wild is like, the theory that most people have is that Breath of the Wild is sort of like the crossing point, basically. It's it is where all of the timelines merge is Breath of the Wild. That is the theory. I don't believe that theory though. I mean, I certainly do believe that like Breath of the Wild is at the end, but I see no reason why Breath of the Wild has to like be a merger of everything. It can just like exist on its own.
So,
and then
your biggest gripe.
And then the thing, Hyrule Warriors is apparently non-canon, but like, and I get it because they do have characters from other Zelda games, but like, it's easily explained in Hyrule Warriors why that's the case. For me, okay, for me, Hyrule Warriors makes most sense after Skyward Sword.
Hyrule Warriors counts in the timeline?
It should. Because they always talk about how after people populated the world, there was a giant war in Hyrule Warriors. That would easily explain it.
Hyrule Warrior Link is the strongest Link, because he can take down hundreds of goons at the same time.
Also, I think it's Skyward. Takes place after Skyward Sword because Link is wearing the same outfit, just with a blue thingy, blue scarf.
Oh.
But I don't get why Four Swords Adventures is in the child. It makes no sense. Why is it in the child timeline?
Because Ganondorf reincarnated.
But like, the whole thing of that game, like, it should take place after Four Swords, or after Four Swords Adventures. I think I have to leave it down here for a second. Yep.
So, that's your biggest gripe, or?
My biggest gripe is that the placements of a lot of these games don't make sense. Like,
see,
Ocarina of Time,
my gripe,
or Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess following each other makes perfect sense. Absolutely makes perfect sense. Like, Link to the Past, Oracle of Ages, Link's Awakening, all taking place after each other, makes perfect sense. The child timeline, and it bothers me. It just bothers me.
See, my gripe is that these games do not need to be connected in a timeline.
No, but it's fun for fans to like assume where their placement would be.
Then let the fans do it. Don't make an official timeline that makes less sense than Kingdom Hearts. Let the fans make the timeline. That's fun. But like, don't make an official timeline.
Is this all surrounded?
Because then people will start enforcing like timelines on people instead of just letting them, you know, come up with their own headcanons.
For the most part, like, I hate the Zelda timeline because like it incited something that like I had never personally like, because I know there are definitely a lot of people who are like, oh, but the Zelda timeline, it should be like this. Like, I've never been that person.
I just don't think they should have made. I don't think they needed to make an official timeline. I think they should just let that like kind of just be up to interpretation.
But I mean,
because the games itself don't really.
But you're like, wrong though. They
like the sequels.
The sequels. Zelda 2 explicitly states that it takes place a few years after Zelda 1. A Link to the Past.
Okay, yeah. That's a sequel.
A Link to the Past.
That's a straight sequel.
A Link to the Past specifically states that it takes place a few hundred years before Zelda 1. Link's Awakening specifically states that it takes place right after Link's Awakening. Like, it was
okay. Where does
Ocarina of Time is the one that fucked it all up.
I guess you can. The first 2D games can be explained. The first like not couple, but few, can be easily explained because, you know, there's not really, I mean,
Also,
the story in Zelda 1 isn't extensive.
Also, the part is that Nintendo was the one who incited this all to begin with. Like,
Because did people before even, like, think to put Majora's Mask after Ocarina of Time? I mean, not Majora's Mask. Obviously, Majora's Mask is after Ocarina of Time.
God,
but Wind Waker?
Wind Waker
Wind Waker?
explicitly states that it's a sequel to Ocarina of Time. That's the thing.
Where does it state that?
Every single part in Zelda has at least one section in the game where you can, like, basically explore and, like, read something that will tell the story. So, for example, early on in A Link Between Worlds, the story that is told in the portraits, that's the story of A Link to the Past. That's what it's referencing. And what do I have to do here? Oh, okay. Wind Waker's story is saying that what happened to the world is that the hero of time beat Ganon, but now... Did I fuck this up? Let's find out. The hero of time beat Ganon, but the hero of time is now gone. So now, with the hero of time gone, Ganon had free range to do whatever the fuck he wanted, basically. So, what the goddesses decided to do to prevent Ganon from destroying the world was flooding it. It explicitly states that it takes place after Ocarina of Time.
So is this Link a reincarnation?
Yes. All the different Links are reincarnations.
So Twilight Princess is just... What does it say that means it's after Majora's Mask?
You know... You've played Twilight Princess, right?
Wait a second. Wait. Hold on.
What? What's up?
What game comes after Link 2?
Adventure Link?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Alright, so nothing comes after that.
Breath of the Wild, quote unquote. But Breath of the Wild literally takes place after everything, so I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay, you've played Twilight Princess, right?
I've played a little bit of it.
Do you remember who the hero Shade is?
Nope.
That's the Link from Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yeah, Ocarina of Time? Or I thought you said...
The hero Shade in Twilight Princess is the same Link from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. They're the same person.
Alright.
That's why it takes place after Majora's Mask. How do I...
Hero Shade's like fucking 7'4".
He should be playing in the league, bro. What am I missing here? Oh, right.
This timeline.
What am I... Huh? Can I... Oh, right. My brain works. Okay, we'll have that here. Are you kidding me?
Bruh.
Alright. That should work.
Can't you throw it?
I just needed to place it in the correct spot.
Alright.
Okay. That works.
Timeline talk. Let me look up worst timelines in video games.
Imagine trying to rationalize with people trying to piece together a Mario timeline.
It's just Mario.
I mean, actually, it isn't that hard to do a Mario timeline. It's just people would prefer that those games don't have a timeline. And you know
Mario
what? I'm okay with that.
timeline. Let's see these fan timelines.
Oh god, some of them are insane.
Alright. Yoshi Island. Yoshi's New Island. Yoshi's Island DS. Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. And then Wrecking Crew. That is the first timeline. Oh wait, no. Wrecking Crew to Donkey Kong, and then to Donkey Kong Jr., which splits off to Donkey Kong 3, then Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 2, 3, 64, Returns, and Tropical Freeze. Going back to Donkey Kong Jr., it goes towards Mario Brothers, and then Mario Brothers again, and then the Lost Levels, Super Mario Brothers 2. I don't know why people want to put that in the timeline. To Super Mario Brothers 3, to Super Mario World, to Super Mario Land, Super Mario Land 2, Wario Land, Wario Land 2, Wario Land 3, Wario Land on the Game Boy Advance, Wario Land on the Wii, Wario World, and another Wario game on the DS. Okay, fuck the Wario games. Going back to Super Mario Land 2, it goes to Super Mario RPG, Super Mario 64, and then Mario vs. Donkey Kong.
What? Okay, you know what my Mario timeline is? Here you go.
Fuck y'all.
Hold on, you know what my Mario timeline is? Here we go. Yoshi's Island DS, Yoshi's New Island, Yoshi's Story, and that's it. You can literally play every other fucking game however you want. Why is the fan on again? Anger.
But with the release of Mario Odyssey, having Pauline referencing the events in Donkey Kong, that means there is a timeline.
Listen. Listen. Okay, yeah, there's thing.
Oh, timelines.
Okay, you know what my Zelda timeline is? Exactly the same, except I would include Hyrule Warriors after Skyward Sword, and I would just move Four Swords Adventures from after Twilight Princess to after Four Swords.
What's the ending of Hyrule Warriors?
Winning the war.
So that means if Hyrule Warriors is placed after Skyward Sword, then doesn't that mean Breath of the Wild can't happen after Skyward Sword?
Why?
They won war.
Ganon reincarnates.
Okay.
Like, were you not?
Isn't Ganon in Hyrule? Is Ganon not in Hyrule Warriors?
He is, but like,
how'd he get there?
We'll have to finish this game for you to find out.
Oh.
I think I did that right, correct? Mr. Man?
Wait a second.
What?
But Hyrule Warriors has Skull Kid and
There's something at the bridge inside the huh? Could it be a clue? Something at the bridge inside. Or do you want to head back out to sea?
But is it? Wait.
What? Hold on. What is it talking about? I don't remember this.
Alright, I remember the timeline different. I forgot Skyward Sword was at the top. My fault.
I don't know where. You seem to not be understanding the whole I
get it now. I get it now.
Do you really?
For some reason, I had Skyward Sword at the bottom right.
Do you have some fucking information to give to me, Fee? Oh.
She's gonna tell you about the timeline.
Yeah, right.
Daily debate. Is the official timeline officially worthless? On ZeldaDungeon.net.
I mean, yeah. Cause okay, so this is the thing. The big controversy with the Zelda timeline for a very long time was that most people either assume like you that if there is a timeline, it's all one straight line, or if there is a timeline that it would be split into two. Then Nintendo came out and said like, how about 3? And that's where everybody has just gone.
You know what's better?
Absolutely bonkers.
Tony Hawk timeline.
Isn't it just 1 through 5?
No.
Huh?
Alright. We have 5 minutes left, but I'm talking about this entire timeline because it's the best.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna just... Just give me until I can find this thing so I could beat it, and then.
The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater timeline.
I didn't even know
it
that
starts
was a
off
thing.
with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Okay.
Then goes to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Then to 3. Then to 4.
Oh.
Alright? Now it branches off.
Branches?
Tony never meets Bam. Bam from Bam Margera.
I'm sorry.
Is that how you say his name?
Of all
Tony never meets Bam. Goes to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. Then if Tony meets Bam, it goes to Tony Hawk's Underground. Now, alright, here's where it gets wacky. Bam wins, which then makes Tony Hawk's Underground 2, then Tony Hawk Ride, then Tony Hawk Shred, and then Tony uses time travel in an attempt to fix the past, creating the Never Meets Bam timeline, which is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater HD.
I'm sorry.
Then we go back to Tony Hawk's Underground. There's the Tony Wins timeline, which goes to Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, which then goes to Tony Hawk's Project 8, then Tony Hawk's what does that say? I can't read that. Something ground. But if we go back to Tony Hawk American Wasteland, offshoot timeline where Tony gets really into racing for some reason, in which Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam comes out. But then we go back to Tony Hawk's Underground one more time. Tony and Bam duel for supremacy. Tony wins, but Bam dies from his injuries, which makes Tony Hawk American Wasteland for the DS.
Who is Bam?
And then goes to Tony Hawk's Motion on the DS. Bam, who's a skater in one of the Jackass guys. Hold on. That's not the only timeline. That was just one timeline.
I thought you were kidding when it branches. How do Tony Hawk's game have a more complex timeline than Zelda?
Here's a I swear there's a timeline where one of the branches is that Tony dies.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, I mean,
the fuck going on in Tony Hawk, bruh?
Now, with Tony Hawk 1+2, because Tony looks older in the game, because they just now got scans of him as his, what is he, 50 now?
Yeah.
His 50-year-old self.
Oh yeah, by the way, we're in the third dungeon.
That's going to be put into the timeline. Oh no. I see one for Faith. The Fate timeline. Oh my god, can I get a better picture of this? I can't even read this. Hold on. Alright, let me see. All sizes. Fuck. No, stop giving me low-res images. I must bring this out to the people. Okay, let me try reading this.
Oh boy.
Fate 0.
Okay.
Fate X 0. Some guy fucking dies and that makes Fate Strange Fake. And then the third impact happens and then it's Evangelion. End of Evangelion.
I'm sorry. What?
And then
you're kidding.
Shinji isn't a little bitch Lamau, which makes Pluto Nash. We go back to Fate Strange Fake. And we go down to Weezer's Blue Album. If Kurt Cobain lives, Fate Grand Order is a thing. And that also creates Pluto Nash. But in Fate Grand Order, if Jotaro stops die, then JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4 will happen. If we go back to the Weezer's album, it says Rivers has legs surgery, which makes another... I can't read that. If we go back to Fate X 0, there's a timeline that goes to Fate Stay Night, then Hotline Miami, and then Cold War goes nuclear.
How do we get to Hotline Miami?
No explanation. And then from Hotline Miami, if the Cold War goes nuclear, then it's Fate Apocalypse. Or Apocalypse, whatever the fuck that name is. But if we go back to JoJo's Part 4, After that, Fate Stays Nice, Heaven's Feel, I think it's called. We get Kanye West kills Thanos.
How did we get to
makes,
Kanye?
And then we have a Kanye West album that goes to Dark Souls 3.
What happened to Dark Souls 1 and 2?
And then if the flame goes out, we get another Fate thing.
Oh.
But if the flame is I can't even read that.
What flame?
Sliced?
Wait, flame to what?
We get it. I don't know. And then we get this weird album. I don't know what it is. If Tony Hawk lives, we get Team Fortress 2. And if Tony Hawk dies, we get another Fate show.
If Tony Hawk dies in what?
If Tony Hawk dies. Look. This is the most legit timeline I've ever seen.
I thought that you were going to read it in earnest.
Oh, wait. We got another one. Where the fuck's the starting point for this? Where the fuck? I can't find a starting point.
Can you please put these images into the Discord so Larry can put them up later?
All right. But wait, what's this? Okay. This is an updated, which includes 1+2. This is the updated timeline.
That includes Dark Souls 1 and 2?
Tony Hawk.
Or include...
No. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
I thought, when you said you're going to read the Fate timeline, I thought you were going to attempt to read the actual Fate timeline.
No, that is.
I did not expect you to try to read some bullshit meme created by some fuck.
Pro Skater 1, Pro Skater 2, Tony meets Bam. Then Pro Skater 3 happens, to Pro Skater 4. We go to Bam challenges Tony for the right to control the Pro Skater world. And that's Tony Hawk's Underground. Bam defeats Tony and takes control, and the world becomes more wacky but loses touch with its skater roots. That's the Bam Wins timeline, which is Tony Hawk's Underground 2, Tony Hawk Ride, Tony Hawk Shred, Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD, where realizing the Bam's influence has caused the world to tailspin into a series of gimmicky motion controls no one likes. Tony uses the power of HD remasters to travel back in time. Maybe if he prevents the conflict between him and Bam, things will be set, right? Alright. We go back to Tony Hawk's Underground. Tony defeats Bam and regains control, but Bam dies from breaking his neck attempting a 1,260 sextuple kickflip. The world sticks to its skater roots, but something is missing. Tony wins timeline. American Wasteland, Tony Hawk's Project 8. Tony Hawk's still can't read that fucking game. Without Bam's influence, the world becomes grayer and darker. Realizing that Bam is necessary for the world's survival, Tony attempts to resurrect him via necromancy. But the revived Bam is a mere shadow of his former self, which is Tony Hawk's American Wasteland for the DS, and in Tony Hawk's Motion, in a final desperate move to save his world, Tony signs a licensing deal with the Disney Corporation, which makes a skating game filled with Disney characters, which then, in the timeline, becomes Kingdom Hearts. Now, if we go back to Tony Hawk's Underground, Tony creates when he goes back in time, Tony creates a paradox timeline, which makes Tony... paradox timeline unintentionally creates by future Tony's attempt to fix the timeline. Bam and Tony's conflict never ends, and the world is thrown into upheaval. Future Tony manipulates events so that Bam does not challenge his younger self, which makes Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. And then Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2. Somehow things get worse even quicker when they don't come into conflict. Future Tony attempts to try time travel once more. Perhaps this time the two should never met at all. Loos has officially clocked out.
Okay. So we start with...
Do you have a timeline?
Is this the one you just read?
This is the one I just read. Let me get the other ones.
Hold on. So we start with Fate Zero, which splits...
This is the last episode, right?
Yeah. We start with Fate Zero, which goes into... Okay, the Elgato's glitching, so this is a good time to stop. Okay. It doesn't matter. This is on the screen. So we start with Fate Zero. We go to Fate Stay Night. Then we go to Fate Stay. It splits to Fate Stay Night. It splits to Fate Stay Night. Something, something, something. Then it splits to Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and then it's.
Hold on.
Hold on.
I go to find the Pluto Nash one I was talking about, and then I see this. I don't know what's happening there. I think that might be an actual Fate Stay Night.
Oh yeah, I just brought that one up. I'll read it in a bit. Okay, so if Shiro never met Bam, then Fate Stay Night happens. Then after Fate Stay Night, Dragon Ball Fighters. Then after that, Fate Extra.
What?
Then after Fate Extra, Night at the Museum, essential for a key flashback during the final boss. Then Fate Extello. So then, if we go back to Tony Hawk Pro Skater, if Shiro meets Bam, we go to Fate Strange Fake. Tony wins the war. Then we go to Fate Apocalypse, and then Carnival Phantasm is somewhere there. I don't know where, but somewhere. So we go back to Fate Strange Fake. So then that goes to Tony Hawk's something underground. If Tupac is killed, then Fate.
Huh? What did Tupac get into this?
If Tupac is killed, Fate Grand Order happens. We go back to Tony Hawk game I can't read. If you choose the Glass Lumberjack, Airbud happens. If Buddy's team loses, then Fate something something happens. If Buddy teams wins, then Fate... I can't even read what that is. Then I can't even read what that is. Two-way happens. Then a picture of a guy in prison happens. Then another Japanese thing I can't read. Then Fate Unlimited Codes happens. Then Fate, and then this is another thing happening. Fate Prototype happens. Then Black Panther happens. And if the normal ending happens, then Fate Prototype happens. But if the Tony Stark lover route, the bad ending also happens, then Fate Grand...
It's a movie. What route?
then Fate Grand Order also happens again.
I think I'm withering away. It's got to me. Honestly, if the Fate timeline was that, I'd probably get into it. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
Oh, boy.
Why do these all have Tony Hawk in it? That's the best part.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, this is it. Okay, so that last one you sent, like, I think this might actually be a Fate timeline. That is the Fate timeline.
You're lying.
I'm not lying.
You're lying. Is this on the Fate subreddit? Oh, it is. Oh, it is. Please tell me I see images of, like, Black Panther somewhere. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, what am I looking at? I know there's a Fate cooking show.
Larry, put this up. I'm gonna stop the Elgato recording.
Oh, my lord. What? This a whole S? Bro, what timeline has a fucking question mark at the end? There's like 7 different question marks.
Undecided?
There's like 20 different question marks. Like, what does that mean?
Oh my god.
I don't know. Maybe it ends here. Maybe it goes somewhere.
Oh my god.
3000 AD? What does that mean?
No.
For some reason, I just want the Clannad to just show up randomly here and, like, apparently the girl with the robot is part of the Fate timeline.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so one more, and then we can be done. So it's called the Fate Timeline for Beginners. So we start with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. No, hold on. We start with Fate Apocalypse, and if Ozymandias interferes, then we go to Yu-Gi-Oh. But after Fate Apocalypse is Fate Prototype, then Terminator Judgment Day, then Magic the Gathering. If you get the bad ending, then
what?
If you get the
how do you get a bad ending in Magic the Gathering?
If you get a bad ending, then no, never mind. Magic the Gathering is coincides with Fate something. If Fate something you get the bad ending in it, then Magic the Gathering happens. If you get the good ending, then Carnival Phantasm or whatever the fuck happens. Fate Apocalypse is also tied to if Rich Tofin steals the Grail. Call of Duty World at War. Call of Duty World at War leads to Terminator. If Sarah never
What?
dies, then Terminator Judgment Day. Then we go to Fate Zero. Then we go to Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Let's go.
If Tony saves Bazette, then Fate something happens. Okay. Let's go back to Call of Duty World at War. If franchise never goes to shit, then Tsukima Hime Remastered happens. Then let's go back to Terminator. I believe it's Terminator 2. If the Volumen Hydrium becomes Skynet, then it splits into two. Japanese words I can't read. Splits those two combined back into one into Japanese words I can't read. If you get the bad ending in that, then Terminator happens. Then Terminator happens again.
Again?
Then Fate Strange Fake. Then let's go back to Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Then Fate Stay Nights. The two of them happen. Let's go all the way back. Let's go to Carnival Phantasm. And leading into Carnival Phantasm is if Gohan and Mia resets the timeline, Dragon Ball FighterZ takes before it. And before Dragon Ball FighterZ, if you get the bad ending in Fate Stay Night, it leads to Black Panther. And if and before Black Panther,
so if you get the bad ending of Fate Stay Night, you get racism.
If Thanos kills Shiru, then you go to Fate Grand Order. But if Shiro kills Kiara Session, then Fate, I don't even know what that is. Dragon Ball FighterZ, if the androids kill Gohan, then Night at the Museum happens. But Night at the Museum also leads to the Fate X Stello timeline. Then if Waver invents the T-1000 after Night at the Museum, Terminator Salvation happens. Then Tony Hawk I think it's Tony Hawk Pro Skater, I think it's Tony Hawk Underground or whatever, happens. Then Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. But previously, the way to get to Tony Hawk Ride, you had to have the good ending in the Japanese words I can't read, which had, if you got the bad ending in that, led to Terminator something, and then ends with Fate Strange Fate.
Oh my god. I was listening to a podcast. You know how Tony Hawk 1+2 is all Tony?
Yeah.
They're hoping the story has like a microwave, like MGS4 microwave scene for Tony. Not at the museum in the fucking timeline. What the fuck?
My favorite was when I said, okay, so we start at Yu-Gi-Oh! And you're like, what?